Thrivewood Pilates with some bands and ball series. So I'm going to start lying on your back. Just to wake up your core, place your hands behind your head. You have one over the other, right in the middle of the widest part of your skull. Feet hip width apart. Make sure your pelvis is neutral, so remember that your hip points and your pubic bone are level with the ceiling. And then take a deep breath in. On your exhale, raise your head and chest, look above your knees. On your inhale, looking at the ceiling as you lower your head. Exhale, raising your chest, look over the knees. Inhale to lower. On your lift, draw your navel in and up towards your heart, so you're really flattening out that abdominal wall. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Continue for another 5. We do about 10 of these. Let your head be resting on your hands so you're not pulling on your neck. Use the stomach muscles to lift the chest. 2 more. Exhale and inhale and exhale and inhale. All right. This is specifically focusing on your feet. I'm going to do this without a band and then add the band in. So start with just holding your hands behind your one leg. Bend it into your chest as deep as it'll go. And then extend your leg as long as it'll go. And bend again, release. And then stretch it back out. And do that a couple times. Then flex your foot. And this is a 4-step flex and point. You start with pointing the ankle, keep your toes back. Then point your toes. Pull only your toes back so the ankle stays pointed, and then flex. So it's a half point, full point, half point, flex. Again, half point, full point, half point, flex. 2 more for 5. Half point, full point, half point, flex. Again, half point, full point, half point, flex. Bend that knee, put the foot down. Let's do the other side. Bring your knee into your chest. And then extend that leg really long. And again, bend the knee into the chest. And extend it back out. Keep the leg straight. Flex your foot. Remember that whole concept of pulling up your thigh muscles so you're very active above your knee. Then we go into the half point. Full point with the toes. Pull only the toes back in the half point. Flex. Again, half point, full point, half point, flex. And half point, full point, half point, flex. 2 more. Half point, full point, half point, flex. And half point, full point, half point, flex. Bend that knee back down. Now we take the band. So you can start with a light band and work your way up to a heavier band. You want to take the band and spread it across your ball of your foot and your toes. Sometimes angling it a little bit helps. And then extend that leg long towards the ceiling. Anchor your elbows on the mat. And flex your foot here. Try to keep that leg as long as possible, and just over your hip is good. You don't want it any higher. And then go into half point here. Try to spread your toes in the band. Full point, half point, and flex. And again, half point, full point, half point, flex. Try for 5 of these. And you work your way up to 10. 2 more. Half, full, half, flex, and half, full, half, flex. Bend that knee. Bring your other foot up into the band. You can spread the band out with the other foot, making this a little bit easier so it doesn't roll up. And then extend this leg long towards the ceiling. Right over your hip is good. Flex your foot. Then we go half point, full point, half point, flex. Lengthen your toes as you half point and as you full point. Reach the toes long. Half point, flex. 3 more. Half and full point, knee. Switch sides again. Do the same thing with using the other foot to help spread the band around the toes. And in this case, cross the ends of your band over and anchor your elbows again. Bend your top knee. You can also keep your bottom leg straight in this one if you want a little bit more of a stretch, or bottom knee bent if it feels tight. Totally up to you. You want your knee vertical over your hip so it makes a tabletop with the foot in line with your knee. Starting here, thigh stays still. Extend your leg, reaching that foot to the ceiling. Try not to move your thigh. And then bend, keep your thigh in place. Extending the leg, you're working the front of the thigh muscles. When you're bending, you're actually working the back of the thigh muscles a little bit. Then again, stretch and bend and stretch and bend and stretch and bend. We generally do 10 of these if possible. Keep it going. This is 7. Nice and easy. Keep that the hips square, that thigh still. You might start to feel it get a little tired. One more time. Stretch, bend. Now keep that angle of the leg. Follow the line of your foot out. Stretch the leg out away from the hip and then bend. And again, reach the leg into the band. Bend it just a tabletop. And again, stretch it out. And then knee over the hip. The whole while you're doing all these variations, your arms stay stable and your shoulders are back. Your gaze is at the ceiling, even though it's very tempting to look at your leg. Keep going for another 3. As you extend your leg, see if you can lift your navel into your spine and up towards your heart. Coming back in, then extend that leg directly up over your hip. Keep your leg straight. Lower it down towards 45 degrees. Raise it up to 90 degrees. Then lower and lift. And you're just trying to get over your hip, but no higher when you lift. And a lower. And lift. Reach it down. Reach it up. Continue for another 5. And up. 4. And up. 3. Lift. 2. Lift. 1. Lift. Bend that knee. Uncross your band and switch to the other foot. Once you get your foot in there, cross the band over again. If you remember which side is in front on the other side, try to just be opposite. And then bend your elbows to the mat again. Find that tabletop, knee over hip joint, foot in line with your knee. Extending your leg, keep that thigh stable, and bend back to your tabletop. And do that again. Stretch, and a bend, and a stretch, and bend. Stabilizing the thigh, keeping your knee over your hip as best you can. 5 more. Stretch, back to tabletop, stretch, tabletop, and stretch, tabletop. Couple more times. Stretch, bend, and stretch, and bend. Going horizontal, stretch it down away from the chest, back to tabletop. Stretch, and a bend. You want to feel the muscles under your sit bone working a little bit here as you extend that leg. Continue here for the full 10, so 5 more. Reach it out, bend it in. And keep your foot almost slightly pointed as you do this. 3 more. Shoulders, blades wrapping back. Sometimes I catch myself pulling forward too. Last 1. Come back to tabletop. Extend that leg to the ceiling. Reach it away from your chest. Raise it back up to 90 degrees. Reach it down. Reach it up. Reaching down. Reaching up. Reaching down. Reaching up. Continue for another 5. And up. Reach down. Reach up. Remember the abdominals. Draw them in as the leg goes down. Find a little scoop in the abs. 2 more. And 1. And up. And then bend that knee. So that's your band series. Set your band off to the side. And then we're going into bridging. Do two different bridge versions. The first version, you're focusing on the inner thigh connection, so if you have a small ball, put it between your knees. If you don't happen to have a ball handy, you can do this just imagining a ball. Arms by your sides. Lift your hips up as you hug the midline or hug your ball. And then roll your spine down, melting the spine bone by bone all the way down through to the tail. Press straight up in a bridge. Hug the ball, put a little weight in your big toe joints. Soften your chest and melt it away from your chin as you roll down. And we add breathing to this. Inhale to lift up. Hold your breath in position. 2, 3. Exhale, melt the chest and roll. 2, 3. Inhale, pressing up. Hug the ball and hold. 2, 3. Exhale, rolling down. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hug your ball as you lift and hold. 2, 3. Exhale, roll it down. 3, 2, 1. 5 to 8 is good. If you're able to do 5. Then you switch it up. You want to work the outside of your thighs and your glutes. So if you have a universal band like this, you can put that over your legs. It'll go up between your feet, go between, and you go up to about the bottom quarter to a third of your thigh. If you don't have a universal band, you can actually take a TheraBand, fold it in half, and then around about 6 to 8 inches down from that fold, usually 6 is good, you make a knot. And you end up with a universal band, a circle. And you bring that up above your thighs. Same thing, bend your knees and place your feet on the mat. You want to have the band still at about that quarter of the way up the thigh. Feet are a little bit wider than hip width in this one, just outside the sit bones, that's all. Arms by your sides. Gently push your thighs out into the band, and this time lift straight up into the bridge and hold. Lower halfway, and then as you lift back up, press out into that band. And we lower, and then press out, and lower, and press out. It's just enough to engage the rack and the rotators here, not so much that you're rolling on the outside of your foot. Continue for another 5, so we have 10, and lift, lower, and lift, lower, lift, lower, for 2, and 1, and then lower all the way back down. We do another set. These are much smaller, just an inch down and an inch up. So you press it all the way back up to your bridge. Keep that outward pressure on your thighs. Lower lift, lower lift, lower lift, lower lift. Continue for another 6, 5, pressing out, 3, 2, 1, lower all the way down. You can hug your knees into your chest. Stretch out the low back a little extra, making sure it's still open. And then set your band off to the side. Flip over onto your side, continuing with that side line, that glute focus. Spine against the back edge of your mat. So line your hips and shoulders up against the back. Bring your feet to the forward edge. Your legs can be totally straight, or you can bend your bottom leg. Yeah. Then take your top leg, or your top hand, and put it in front. Your top leg raises to hip height, then lowers back down. We just lift, keep the foot level with the floor, and lower. Resist up as if you have a weight on your leg. So you're working the outside of the hip muscles. Lift and lower. We're going to do 8 today. You can work it up to 10. 4 more. Resist and float. Resist and float. 2 more. And float. Then hold the lift. Keep your foot level with the floor. Circle it around about the size of a basketball. 1, 2, 3. Hold your core strong. Abs and up. 6, 7, 8. Reverse your circles. Try to only circle the leg and not let the hips and the torso wiggle around. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, lower. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So either roll over or swing your legs around the other side. Spine to the back edge of the mat, feet to the forward edge. Nice stacked hips, navel in and up. Raise the top leg, resist it up, lower down. Resist it up, lower down. And lift, and lower. Lift, and lower. 4 more. Lift, and 2, and 3. Last one, hold. Stabilize the bottom leg into the mat. Circle the top leg for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Try the other way. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down. All right, and that is it for hip stabilizing, hamstring stretching and strengthening, and the works.